Hello, this is Earth Science teacher Tim Martin. In this Team Mart Earth Science video, I'm going to cover meteorology, part 1, atmospheric composition. In this beautiful image, that thin blue line in the upper side of the picture is Earth's atmosphere, the gases that protect us from the vacuum of space. As we look at a graph of the Earth's atmosphere, it's clear that the dominant gas in the Earth's atmosphere is nitrogen. The nitrogen molecule has two atoms and commonly referred to as N2. There's about 78% of the Earth's atmosphere composed of nitrogen. The second most abundant gas in the Earth's atmosphere is oxygen, coming in at about 20.9%. When we say oxygen, again, we're talking about the diatomic molecule of O2. The third most abundant gas in the Earth's atmosphere, coming in at about 0.9%, is argon, an inert noble gas. This is the primary gas that makes up what we call dry air. The reason why we refer to that of dry air is the next most important gas, maybe even the third most important gas, is water vapor, or H2O. I don't list a percentage for water vapor because it's constantly changing. It may vary from almost none to up to 4% of the mass of the Earth's atmosphere. This gas truly makes our planet unique. There's also trace amounts or very small percentages of other gases. When it's less than a percent, we may refer to as parts per thousand or parts per million. Remember, percent is parts per cent or parts per 100. Carbon dioxide is a very important gas in the atmosphere, and the number I have listed here, 368 parts per million, is actually an old number. Unfortunately, this one's no longer correct. 368 parts per million was the amount of carbon dioxide in the Earth's atmosphere when I began teaching. A few years later, the number started to climb, and it's been climbing consistently, in fact accelerating over the last number of years. I'd really encourage you to look up on some websites like Earth CO2 or CO2 Now to see what the current percentage of carbon dioxide is in the Earth's atmosphere. This change is largely due to human activity, particularly the burning of fossil fuels, adding carbon dioxide to the Earth's atmosphere. There's also another type of oxygen, ozone, a molecule that has 3 atoms of oxygen, is an important gas in the Earth's atmosphere. This gas has very different roles if it's down near the surface of the Earth or high in the Earth's atmosphere. We'll talk about that later. Other important gases include neon, helium, and CH4 is methane. As these gases cycle through the Earth's atmosphere, we often refer to some of the important cycles. This is a simplified version of the water cycle. You can imagine a lake or an ocean where water evaporates. As it rises into the air, it may condense to form clouds. Those clouds may transport water throughout the atmosphere, eventually precipitating as rain or snow. As that hits the Earth and causes runoff, it cycles back into the lakes and oceans where it started. The water cycle is the balanced system that keeps water circulating around in the Earth's atmosphere. Similarly, the oxygen-carbon cycle may be simplified. This cycle also involves water and other things like sunlight, but the basics are fairly simple. Green plants give off oxygen. Animals and other creatures may inhale that oxygen, and through the process of respiration or breathing, they exhale carbon dioxide. The carbon dioxide from combustion or respiration may go back into the trees. The trees take in that carbon dioxide and through the process of photosynthesis, once again release the oxygen. Keep in mind, in the carbon dioxide that you exhale largely comes from the food you eat. And then, as the tree takes in the carbon dioxide and gives off oxygen, it uses that carbon to build wood, sugars, leaves, and other things that make up the plant. Now, you saw in the last diagram I was using a cow. I figured that might be a little bit more appropriate when it came to the nitrogen cycle. Nitrogen cycle is very complex. It involves animals and plants and bacteria, so some of the nitrogen in the Earth's atmosphere may become a nitrate as it gets into the soil. There are certain bacteria that help extract nitrogen from the air and put it into the soil, where it then can be used by other plants, helping the plants grow. As animals and other organisms consume the plants containing nitrogen, they need to excrete the nitrogen. And so, yes, that pile of brown stuff is supposed to be in this picture. Bacteria in animal waste may break down those nitrogen compounds. Some of those may be released into the soil, others may be released back into the air. Another really important aspect of the nitrogen cycle is lightning, as lightning can help fix nitrogen into the soil and make it available for plants. Whether lightning, bacteria, roots of certain plants, decomposers, all of these are integral aspects of the process of keeping a balance of nitrogen in the Earth's atmosphere. There's also one other group of material that's in the Earth's atmosphere, but this doesn't fall under the categories of gas. We would not have weather if we did not have the particulates. These are small bits of material, like grains of smoke from this forest fire in California. This image is not mine, from the United States Geologic Survey after an eruption of Mount St. Helens. Volcanic ash may contribute particulates to the Earth's atmosphere. When waves crash on a rocky coastline, or even if you have a turbulent sea, salt water may get into the air, and the salt provides particulate matter in many places in the Earth. Here's one that those of you who suffer allergies may be all too familiar with. Pollen. Yes, little particulate matter of pollen from plants ends up in the Earth's atmosphere. An interesting story goes along with this picture. I was driving through New Mexico and saw a sign that predicted a dust storm. Sure enough, a little further down the road, there was in fact a dust storm. Dust from arid regions may add to the particulate material in the Earth's atmosphere. And finally, ice. Little grains of ice blown from Arctic and Antarctic or high alpine regions may add to the particulate matter in the Earth's atmosphere. As we'll learn later, particulates are important for the formation of clouds and weather. Thanks for watching this video. Stay tuned for part 2, where we'll look at measuring some of the properties of the Earth's atmosphere.